Gorecast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head,
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, which means it's time for the Gorecast Unplugged, original versus remake featuring Carter and Buzz. Ooh, I need to take a breath. Ooh.
There you go.
Hello to Cinema Reaper and
Yeah.
in the crowd. Oh no. Can you hear me? Okay. Apologies. The net can't handle us. Just we're too awesome for the net. So I'll say hello again to Patty Joe and Cinema Reaper Reviews. Hello everybody. I believe that's who's with us right now.
Yep, yep.
So thank you for joining us on this special episode. I'm gonna get all serious again now. How are you doing tonight, Carter?
I'm doing good, dude. Kind of getting ready to talk about some Poltergeist.
Ooh, spooky. Spooky.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing okay. I've felt kind of a toothache coming. So at one point I was like, hopefully I'll be able to make it. I'm doing okay right now. So I'll be able to power through and finish the episode. And I found a new thing to use as a fourth thing to stack my microphone on. So it's a little bit more closer to my face. So I'm using my son's alien action figure box that he didn't open up yet, which surprises me. Walmart sells these like basic like alien and marine line of figures or something, or just like cheap little soldiers and like a little bit of an articulated xenomorph, and they're like $10 a pop. And I'm like, my son like loves aliens for some reason, so I just bought him a whole bunch because they're $10 a pop. So now I'm using it as a microphone stand. So
multitasking at its best, dude.
You know, gotta do it. So, like I said, we're here for one of the fan-selected original versus remake episodes when we asked a few weeks back, what do you want us to watch and review with y'all? And this was one of the selected. Yeah. All right. Just let us know when we're in. Oh, we're in. Okay. We're going to get to our news bits. We have some news bits as we always do. And the first news bit is there's a Tremor 7 coming out, guys. They're still making them. Looks like the movie is slated to come out sometime in October, but from what I saw, there was no specific release date, just that they're hoping to kind of have an October release date. I don't know if it's the last few movies and like straight to VOD and DVD, haven't they? I don't think they've had theatrical releases.
No, they've not. I don't remember the last time they actually had like a theatrical release.
Probably the first one.
I was gonna say maybe the second one. I don't remember, but after that it was straight VOD.
I haven't seen any except the first one. I may have seen the second one once.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I dug Tremors when it first came out, but the only reason I keep watching it is for fucking Michael Gross.
Yeah,
he just like he's the star of the fucking show. He makes every one of them worth it.
That's Burt Gunner, right? His character. Yeah, he's gonna be back. So
yeah, well, dude, he pretty much kind of runs the whole series now. Like,
oh yeah, that's right.
You know, because it was like Kevin Bacon was the first one, then we kind of mixed it up, and after that, Burt just kind of became like the single star of the show. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, dude, what was it? You said this is the 7th one?
Yes.
So the 6th one, they brought Jamie Kennedy in, and I'm not a big fan of him. But I'll still watch that shit. But I'll still watch that shit because Michael Gross is killing it.
Yeah. Not a big much of plot was provided to us. The only thing it really says is that the deadly graboids are back, and they are brought to a island resort by a rich playboy looking for a hunt. I almost said working for a hunt. That's all we got.
I'll give it, like, it may be some weird cheesy shit, but they're still pulling out like new ideas.
So. Yeah, it's one of the like probably like I don't know what, like I'm like lost in my words. There's 7 of them now, or there's going to be 7 of them. They know what they got. Like I said, I can't speak to too much because I've only seen the first and the second one a long time ago. But I don't think that they don't take themselves too seriously. They provide an entertaining ride along the way.
Because like that first one, you know, as I look over all of them, the first one was definitely supposed to be like some sort of kind of more horror, you know, stuff like that. It
took itself a little bit more seriously.
Right. But after that, it definitely, like, they got a little bit more relaxed with the reins and just full on Sharknado, but like an even balance in between of like serious comedy kind of thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, look for that. Like I said, the reports that I looked at, it said they're aiming for an October release, but with everything going on, you know, with the pandemic and everything, things could happen where stuff gets delayed. So, which we'll be talking about in a couple of stories ahead because there is a movie that's being delayed. We should be used to that by now. But the next story we have is a movie that actually does have a release date, called Vigil. I'm sorry. The Vigil, the plot is based off, or not based, but consists of a young man named Yakov who accepts a position to become a shaman and has to watch over the body of a recently deceased Holocaust survivor. He has recently lost his faith and was a little bit reluctant to take the job, but does take it. And then shortly after arriving at the house, he realizes something is very wrong. This has got a UK release, but does not have a United States release. It's going to be released in the UK July 31st, so at the end of this month. No word from the article, from what I noticed, about a US date, but if there is, you know, sometimes it's a month or two down the line, I guess.
Right.
So, but the trailer is available on YouTube if you want to give a look and see what this movie looks like. It sounds interesting, but like,
so he's just sitting over, like, kind of watching the body for the night.
Yeah, it's just pretty much having to stay over the night and just keeping an eye on the body. I don't know if something is supposed to happen to the body or
that in itself's kind of fucking creepy.
And yeah, and then some stuff happens. It's probably obviously going to have some religious, you know, tones to it if it's coming out saying that he recently lost his faith. So, you know, there's going to be some kind of relevance to that at some point during the movie. So, like I said, that should be hitting the UK July 31st. And like I said, as of right now, no release date in the United States. So, and the last news bit is Saint Maud, another movie that has kind of New Mutants, where it has yet had another release date pushed back because of probably not the same problems that New Mutants had, but just current problems in the world today, just with movies not being able to get out because these companies want to put these movies out when people are actually going to be able to go see them, and with in the states with theaters being open, nobody's going to go see it. A lot of them have been kind of thinking about doing, on demand, VOD route. Some of the bigger releases, they've kind of cut their losses. Drive-in theaters and stuff like that.
Which, okay, you know what? I thought that was pretty cool. That kind of helped, because I don't know about where you all are, but like drive-ins are almost dead where I am. Like they're just not
pretty much,
And so this, I kind of dig it because this has been able to give them that kind of jolt.
They're starting to make a comeback, and it would make sense to me because there's still I think a market in them. That, I mean, like in my area, like summers are warm, but like a lot of times throughout the years, the winters are not. So like, I mean, I guess if you go in your car, it might be, you got the heat on and stuff like that. It might be kind of cool to go see drive-in, but they're more of a summertime activity.
Oh yeah.
So that I know certain states like in the South, they're, warmer throughout the year, that they might flourish more there than here because they'd be closed for a good chunk of the time of the year. So, but it's something that I definitely would think. I know one of like our local malls by me is supposed to be doing a summer drive-in thing. It's like $25 a car. You can pack however many people you want to pack in the car and go watch. And there are movies that obviously have already been out. That's a lot of time. Some of the things you see now is like Captain Marvel, and they're doing like a double feature of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one night, shit like that. But I mean, $25 a car. That's like perfect.
Yeah,
5-6 people in the car.
Oh yeah.
And you go watch a movie and just chill out. So like, I've never been to a drive-through or drive-in. So
seriously?
Yeah. I may have been it may have kind of peaked when I was younger. And if I did, I was too young to remember.
Wow. All right. Yeah. No, dude. Like they're awesome. Like I was worried that we were going to lose them, because they just started dwindling so much. So
the closest thing that I ever been to is like, I don't think they really had you weren't like parked in cars, but like certain places did like family movie night where they just had like rented a big screen. So I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. But instead of sitting in your cars, we just like got like blankets and lawn chairs and just kind of sat in a field and watched the movie, which is so it's pretty much the same thing, just not sitting in your car. So I guess I take it back to some point. I just have to sat in my car and did it. But Saint Maud. So got to the story. Originally, it was supposed to be released in April. Then was supposed to come out not Tuesday, but July 17th. Is now moved again. And as of right now, there's been no third release date. The plot of this movie is about Maud, a new hospice nurse who becomes obsessed with saving. Wow, I can't read my fucking handwriting. Jesus. She becomes obsessed with saving her dying patient's soul. Her forces and her own sinful past threaten to put an end to her holy calling. Ooh, I don't know what's worse, me trying to read it on my damn phone or me trying to read my damn handwriting.
Both were a little scary.
Ooh. I got that, doctor handwriting, that chicken scratch, man. You're like, I shout out to all you like pharmacists that have to read those things when you get the little scripts in and be like, because I mean you're giving people medicine that may or may not kill them. So,
dude, I give you shit. I give you shit, but like when I do the news, I have to like have it typed up and like moved off.
Yeah, I probably should
so
type it up.
Kind of scan it.
Yeah. Regardless of the fact, I just can't read. I guess we'll just say that. So. But yeah, so another movie that's been pushed back, and to update you guys, New Mutants still postponed.
That is just like a dagger in your heart, isn't it?
It's every episode. I'm gonna say it. Just you never know. You never know if it's gonna happen.
You're just hoping to give that one day where you're like, it's out tomorrow,
and then the world ends. I was like, no, we're so close to being released. Now there's an asteroid coming. Save us! Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, We must see New Mutants. We don't
Oh,
want to miss a thing. Ooh, I like that.
that's a scary thought. Like
Yeah.
hands of Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck.
Hey, man, that movie. When I saw that movie, just tears. The
I'm not.
tearjerker.
Yeah, no, I cried. I cried like a newborn baby, dude. It
I
was
could
heartbreaking.
stay awake just to hear you breathing. Okay, let's go on to the movie.
All right,
I was gonna go. I'll get out Aerosmith over here.
doing the
Poltergeist.
1982 Poltergeist.
Yes. This is a little ditty about Steve and Diane. Fuck, I should have thought of that.
Holy shit! Right, I thought you were fucking joking. Go you.
I was gonna try to keep going, and then I just stopped. So
Comical
this is a
and
movie about Steve and Diane Freeling, who live in the suburbs of Cuesta Verde with their 3 children, Dana, Robbie, and Caroline. Shortly after we are introduced to the characters, we hear Carol-Ann here starts talking to the TV, because some people do that. You're yelling at the TV like, "You son of a bitch!" Like, especially sports. Like, I yell at the TV all the time with sports. She's not doing that here. She's yelling at people in the TV that somehow are talking back to her. Eventually, a little ghostly hand kind of appears on the TV and shoots up into the wall of the house, causing an earthquake. And the funny thing is, like, there's things that happen in this house that I don't seem to think other people notice, like at neighboring houses. Like, that house shook.
Well, and I think a lot of that is because, like, we find out later, like, the little girl is kind of what they're drawn to.
Yeah.
And so, it just happens to be, like when like you said, all this shit's going on and they run outside and it's like, nobody else seems to be bothered.
Yeah. Like, I think I saw the scene shortly after where I think, like, Steve was on the phone, and I think they did mention something. I thought they mentioned something about an earthquake, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Like, and he was just like, no, I mean, like the whole shit's just like shaking. No,
Yeah.
Okay.
You're full of shit, bro. You get like all dog bounty hunter on here. Like, hey, bro, get off the ice, man. Get off the ice. After that, bizarre events start to take place, like silverware that just randomly starts bending. That happens?
Like, as using it, because you think about the little girl that, like, she was eating, sitting there talking to the family, and she picked up her spoon, and it was just spiraled.
Yeah, that's normal stuff, guys. Normal stuff.
Right.
Furniture moving by itself. I remember Diane got really obsessed with, like, sending her daughter down this little thing with her helmet, because that was
like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, at first, I was like, "Oh, that's cute." Wait a minute, you just, like, you're making your kid part of this science experiment.
Yep.
All right, yeah, that's normal.
But she had a helmet on, so that's
right. She had protection, but it's still kind of a dick thing to do, I feel.
Always use protection. Wink.
Yep.
So going later on in the movie, Robbie seems to have issues with a tree that's sitting on the outside of the house.
Okay, dude. Even as, like, years later, as I watched it the other day, that's still a creepy fucking tree. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that it reaches into his bedroom and, like, grabs him.
Yeah, like, no, that solidified fuck the tree. But, like, before that, they did some awesome lighting, and they just made that motherfucker look scary.
Yeah. Just reading. So I can't remember if Steve and Diane were gone at this time, because I'm, like, starting to mix up the two movies. But as Robbie's being grabbed from the tree, like, taken outside and pretty much almost getting eaten somehow by the tree, they're attempting to try to save him. Well, while that's going on, Carol-Ann sucked into her closet, into the void of the poltergeist. The portal. That's what I wrote down. So after that, they run upstairs. They can't find Carol-Ann because she's in the Never Ever Land, or whatever you want to call it, the void.
I was gonna say, like, the other side, the void.
The other side. I can't say the Poltergeist because that's not really a place. So shortly after that, this is going to be hard for me to read even. So they contact a group of parapsychologists.
I was hoping you were going to fucking try to use that word.
Parapsychologists. Parapsychologists. That might be how you spell it, but they're contacted regardless. Then they're investigating the house. They tell the family that there's more than one ghost that is involved and that they have a poltergeist. I just spit everywhere.
It's okay. You didn't spit on me, bro. We're good.
That's good. Better make sure we're not spreading any diseases.
Nope.
And they also find out that the house was built on an old cemetery. That, according to, I think it's Steve's boss is the one that he was kind of talking to about this. According to him, he says that like the bodies were removed. No, they weren't. He's a lying son.
Because the boss took him up the hill.
Yeah,
funny shit. Boss took him up the hill. Was like, hey, so like, wouldn't you like a house up here? Look at the view and all that shit. And he's like, but I got a place. Oh yeah, but this will be better. And this will be your living room right there where the cemetery is. We'll move that shit. Don't worry about it.
No, the dead don't like being moved around, guys, as we find out later on. So we get the introduction of Tangini Burton, I believe is, or Barton. I'm sorry, Tangini Barton, the little lady.
Oh yeah,
love that little lady. I just want
her little line, like that's that iconic shit. Like you may not know what the movie is, but when you see her, it's like her.
Yeah, like the whole "this house is clear" thing that like made it into the remake, and that was kind of a thing that they had that fucking douchebag. But we'll get into that when we get into the remake. I fucking hate that guy. But yeah, she's okay. Well, yeah. No, he's not a priest. I'm having a conversation with somebody who can't hear. He was on a TV show. He hosted a TV show.
He did like a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, whatever.
That's what guys do. The father.
Yeah. So yeah, Miss Barton is brought in, and she's a spiritual medium, and she's called in for help. Turn the page. She tells the family that Carol Ann is being restrained by a beast who is using her life force to prevent other spirits from crossing over to the land of the living. So I'm thinking, like, when you hear that, so you think that's not, I mean, obviously it sucks for the family, but it almost seems like the beast, as she mentions, is kind of doing a good thing, because isn't that what you kind of want? You don't want all these ghosts, coming over our world?
No, crossing over to the other side, not into our world.
Oh.
Like that was the whole over, so it's like that was kind of like the Lynch in the whole movie. He's using our kid.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like no, crossing over is like the good thing.
Just to say, I did watch the movie, people. I did watch it.
Just missed a good point.
Yeah. So the light that they're talking about is to the other side, not to our side. Right. I see what you did there, Mr. Spielberg. So they end up finding a portal that starts in the closet and ends in the ceiling that goes into the living room. The portal. Their way that they're possibly go in and go out, go in and out. Trying to think if this was in this movie or in the remake, but I think it was the remake.
It was good.
It was both movies, but like I'm trying to think of how they found out about the portal. The remake, I know, has something to do with him destroying a chair and throwing it into, and then it cuts out.
The shit fell through the ceiling, like watches and necklaces.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right.
As they looked through it, it was like, okay, so this watch is 50
too.
years old.
Yeah.
This watch is like 2 years old, shit like that.
I remember that now.
So they figured out that that's where.
I'm telling you guys, this is where the downfall of watching the movies pretty much back to back. Things get kind of intertwined where you can't remember, especially when they're both apart. That's in both movies. So, moving on, they kind of come up with the idea. Go ahead.
And then they tested it by throwing like the tennis balls through, and
yes, and they had like 1 and 2, and,
right. So then they chucked through that.
They get this great plan where they're gonna try to send somebody in to kind of help Carol Ann get through because she's being restrained by the beast and can't get through on her own. So they're gonna send somebody through. Originally, it was gonna be the little lady. I swear, I just want to get her.
I'm good, dude.
We don't want to lose you.
Yep, still good.
Don't want to lose you. Okay.
Cat's not happy that I stepped on him, but I'm good.
It's like that little old lady. I just want to get one of her and put her in my pocket and take her to the things because she's just a voice. I don't know where I'm going with this. So she's got.
I'm almost curious to hear this one finish out. I have no clue what's going on.
Guess is as good as mine. I'm the one saying it. So, she originally is like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in there and rescue." Diane's like, "No, I need to go," and she's like, "No, well, you've never done this before." I'm like, "Neither of you," and she's like, "Maybe I shouldn't do this."
And I loved her straight, like, "Oh yeah, fuck this." Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So Diane ends up doing it. She goes through the portal. She rescues Carol Ann, and they fall through the ceiling at the other end. Yay! Everything's happy. Nope, we got more stuff happening.
See, right there's the fuck up, dude. Like, this movie in my life would have ended like 20 minutes fucking sooner. They fell through the ceiling. They woke up in the bathroom, and we're fucking leaving. Like,
yeah,
the whole like, oh, we'll stay here tonight and pack up. Fuck it.
What? Like, I wouldn't even have like given it 2 seconds. Like, as soon as like they fell from the ceiling with all the ghosts. Oh, I almost said something bad. I almost said something bad that was going to maybe get us kicked off. Ghost do, but think of it as something that starts with an S. Ghost semen.
Oh, there you go.
They had ghost semen all over them as they fell through the ceiling. Yeah,
it seems a little kid like it was like, oh hey dad, cool, let's fucking go.
Yep. And of all things are like, okay, kids, you sleep in that bedroom where there's the death closet.
Right.
No. Parents, you're stupid.
I'm surprised the kids were like, you want us to sleep where?
Yeah. Like, I'll sleep on the freaking sidewalk outside. Fuck this shit.
Come on.
So, oh shit, what's her name? Diane, I guess went gray for some reason, so she wants to dye her hair.
Like, her pass through to the other side gave her like a.
It's very similar to with yeah, there you go. I couldn't think of the character's name. I knew the movie, but I couldn't think. Nancy, right? You didn't want to say Heather, as in Heather Langenkamp, because that's the actress who played her. So it's the same person, just couldn't find the name. But whatever. She gets that little streak of gray in her hair towards the end of the movie, and da-da-da-da-da. So I didn't say Friday the 13th, I said Nightmare on Elm Street. The original, at the end, after her experience with Freddy, she gets like a gray spot, just kind of like how she
like here. Got the kids back, everybody's happy. I'm gonna go dye this gray out, fuck it, and relax. Husband's off fucking with something.
Then she enters some kind of no gravity room, and she goes flying up the ceiling and all this stuff. I think the ghost may have been trying to disrobe her. I don't know, but it seemed like that was their attempt.
It was just definitely a toss around or a good tussle.
Yeah, so she's able to, exactly. So she's able to somehow break out of it. She kind of goes all the whole top of the wall, comes back down. The kids are pretty much getting almost sucked in through the, like I said, the demon hole. The big like beast ghost is like kind of like blocking the door, so that Diane can't get in there, and she somehow gets knocked outside. She goes to try to get help, and then she falls into the swimming pool that may or may not have real skeletons. Actually, did have real skeletons because people who made this movie were some bitches, and they put some bad juju on this franchise.
Dude, and I feel bad for the neighbor because they heard her out there screaming in the rain, and they save her from the swimming pool. It's like at this point you see multiple skeletons floating in the non-finished pool. She's like, "Please come help me save my kid," and he's like,
I left the stove on. I
don't necessarily fault him for like just stepping up and doing some shit.
I mean, he attempted to try. Like, I mean, they saved her from the pool, but then he's like, "I did my one good deed. I saved her from that water. I'm done." Like,
right? Like you've got bodies in your fucking pool, and there's people screaming in your house. Isn't it time for like the news? I should probably fucking go.
Oh, look, what's on the news tonight? My neighbor's house is imploding with skeletons, and man, that's crazy. Steve and the dog, like the one daughter, Diane, I think.
Yeah, Dana.
She's not really in the movie very much.
No.
After the whole thing goes down, when they first, Carol Ann and Diane come through the ceiling, she just like heads off to on a date or somewhere. And then she shows back up, and then she's like, "What's going on?"
Again, so casual. She's going to go hang out with her friends. We're going to pack up and leave tomorrow. Fuck it.
So Stephen and Dana show up. They rescue Robbie, Carol Ann, and Diane, hop into the car, they drive out. And then right before that, Steve yells at his old boss guy. It's like, "You didn't move the bodies. You just moved the headstones." I don't think that's exactly how he said it, but it's very similar.
Pitchier. Okay. But almost spot on.
Thank you.
A little angrier.
Yeah. I'm just doing my thing here. I don't know what I'm trying to say again. So yells at them and audition. There's the word I was trying. I'm auditioning for the remake.
There you go.
In the future.
I think you could do it.
Thank you. They hop into the car. They drive away. The house implodes into itself, and they stop at the Holiday Inn because that's when you were just through the Poltergeist and demons from another world. Please stop at the Holiday Inn for your comfort needs. TV optional because he just pushes the TV out and like, fuck this shit.
Again though, don't fucking blame me. Not that the TV was the cause all, but it was definitely
it's a portal.
Fuck that, right?
So that's the close to the little movie there, Poltergeist. I always forget that Toby Hooper worked on that film as well with Steve Spielberg. Yeah. Well, I forgot that he had a big part in the making of the movie. He was the director, pretty much.
I gotta say, I'm kind of curious because Cinema Reaper was like, I don't like the theory that the movie is cursed.
Ooh, me and Johnny tackled that subject, I believe, a couple of years ago on a previous show where we did the Poltergeist curse.
Just side note. Joe said, "Hey, Baines, drop me an email so I can have a chat with you."
Oh, he is in trouble. It's a lot of it is a coincidence. You think, but it's just so much stuff happened to the people that worked on not even just the first film, like films after it. To where, I mean, some of them are kind of like, okay, he somebody died of like cancer, was one of them. So like, okay, it's, that happens. But like, I mean, the young actress who played Carol Ann, who tragically passed away, I think they were still in the progress of making the third one when she passed away.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Shortly coming out, like it was very soon after the release of the movie or post-production or something.
Okay. So Reaper was just like, I don't like that people make that the reason why the actors died.
I mean, some of them, like, yeah, because like with Dominic Dunn, who played Dana, she was murdered by her boyfriend. Yeah, that's kind of hard to tie in, which is why she wasn't in the sequels.
It's been so long since I've seen 2. I actually like because I don't know. Did you ever get around to seeing the sequel?
No.
Okay. Again, like the whole house is clean. There's like certain parts of the film that are just iconic.
Yeah.
One of them for me was Steve was drinking this bottle of tequila. And we looked at the
heard
bottle.
of that scene.
Yeah. Okay. So like that's so iconic that I plugged that into the first one.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh wait, where's the shit? That must have been the second one. Like you just plug shit in and like you know what I mean?
Yeah, because this one had where that one like parapsychologist guy who was like tearing his face apart because he was flipping out.
Dude, which I loved their fucking special effects. I mean, they were so fucking
like,
good.
Yep, and I have no face and I'm skeleton now.
Him spitting the chicken out with the maggots and then going into the that whole thing.
That was another weird thing. He's like, oh, it's like midnight. I'm gonna make a steak. Just like takes the steak out of the fridge, and then it starts moving on its own. I'm like, what is going on here?
That was one of those. This isn't my food, so fuck it.
Steak. Yeah, like I was telling you guys before when we kind of did our little pre-chat, like I hadn't seen this movie in a while, and it's almost to the point where it's almost like a first-time viewing of it because it's been so long. And like, I don't know if I liked it as much as maybe I did when I first saw it, or if I liked it as much as like it gets praised for being like an iconic, piece of horror cinema.
Oh, man, like, it's like you get a lot of like, bad acting. Like, I'm not knocking it, but like Dana, because like, I don't know if it was really like it was just bad with what she did, or if it was the fact that she wasn't in it enough. But like, a lot of her spots just kind of weren't. They were like too much at times. You know what I mean? Like where everybody else is freaking out, like, fuck, I got my 5 minutes. So like there's scene. So she's a little bit bigger than everybody else.
She was smoking a fat doobie in the bedroom at the beginning of the movie.
But, like we were talking about the whole like the curse and stuff like that, it does add notoriety to the films. You think about that, like, doesn't The Exorcist kind of have that same, theory behind it and stuff like that? So a lot of times you find these adding those to the films.
It's a lot of intrigue because, like, you hear people talking about, oh, well, this happened to this person, this person, this person. There's a curse, and someone's like that may have not seen it yet. It can be like, I wonder what all that's about. Like, what is so bad with this movie? I got to watch it myself. So it definitely adds a lot of intrigue. Could it have been used by, the movie company or somebody? I mean, obviously the deaths and all that stuff actually happened. But, there's the people that, want to spice up their numbers. They're like, hell yeah, it's cursed. Kind of get that out.
Like, see, I didn't know that the oldest daughter, Dana, or the lady that played Dana, passed away by her.
It was boyfriend. Not too long. She was murdered. I don't know exactly how long after the first one came out. I know it was after, but it was a couple years after. I can't remember when the sequel came out because this was 82, so I don't know what time frame. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, she died before the sequel came out, which is, like I said, another. I mean, like I said, she really wasn't in the original that much to where her not being there, was that big of a deal.
Right.
But
at that point, she could have.
She may have been in there if she, wasn't killed. So, yeah, it definitely adds a lot of intrigue. if you haven't like watched it, I know they've had a couple of specials about like the Poltergeist curse. I believe there's been some series that does like cursed movies that movie was featured on there. So it'd definitely be something if you're interested in that to check out. But we'll go ahead and cut to the trailer and go ahead and come back to talk about the god awful 2015 Poltergeist remake. So.
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that. And the one next to that. A young couple live in it.
Give Ken a kiss.
You are so obnoxious.
With their 3 children.
Poor Ken, kind of chew each bite 10 times.
And something more.
They're here.
Sweetie, remember last night? Do you remember when you woke up and you said they were here?
Uh-huh.
Well, who did you mean? Who's here?
TV people.
Something's funny going on here next door. Something,
We were wondering if maybe you had experienced any disturbances lately.
What kind of disturbances?
I don't know what hovers over this house. I've never sensed anything like it.
That thing is in there with my baby!
They're hungries.
Now Steven Spielberg crosses a frightening new threshold into a world within our own. Its form is revealed.
What is it?
Its focus is clear. And the games are over. Poltergeist. It knows what scares you.
And we're back. Ooh. That was Poltergeist 1982. Brought to you by Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper.
So now, like, you may not have like dug it your second round, but like, still to this day, that every time I see it, I still dig the hell out of it.
Yeah, like I said before, like it's not that I didn't like it. I just don't know if I liked it as much as I thought I liked it, and kind of I don't know if I hold it up to the standards that a lot of people put it at. Which is, I mean, that's a movie to live up to, you know, the standards of when people saw it like for the first time. You know, it's kind of like, oh my god, it's greatest for 82 for the time period with special effects, like you're saying, is awesome. But now watching it for it's kind of the first time, but it's not actual first time in 2020. It's like, meh. It was a movie. It was like I said, I liked it. I didn't think it was as good as I thought it was. But we'll go to a movie that I knew was bad, and when watching it a second time, knew it was as bad as I thought it was. The 2015 Poltergeist. They fucked everything up. They changed everything. Characters, names, everything. We're redoing the whole fucking thing.
What sucked is, man, I dig the shit out of Sam Rothwell and Jared Harris. They're both like fucking grand actors in about anything I fucking see them in.
They stooped.
You know, like I didn't necessarily mind the changes. Like it wasn't a verbatim remake, so like that was cool. You know, like we kind of get the same story, but like now, unlike the first one, we put a little bit more focus on the kids. You know, the middle kid is, well, for some odd reason, scared of everything. So like we constantly lean on that. You know, the oldest daughter is focused on her at that. Right. You know, And funny enough, like in this one, we really gave like little shits to give for the Madison, but it's the Carol Ann character. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like as active as she was in the like talking to the ghosts and stuff like that, we really didn't fuck with her all that much in this one.
Yeah. They do, because like I don't believe with the original. I think the family had been living in the house for at least a little bit. This one, the family like moves into this house like brand new. Like this is the house isn't brand new, but like they just moved in. Kind of a very similar Amityville horror-esque, where it's like this is at a bargain, because I don't think there's any past issues like in Amityville, but like they're somehow able to get this house at a bargain.
Apparently a lot of the houses in that area were foreclosures for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But I kind of dug the fact that they threw that knot out there that, oh, well, you remember that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
You know, it was buried on a grave or a graveyard.
Yeah. So this time we have Eric and Amy Bowen, that they're the parents, and their kids are Kendra, Griffin, and Madison, like you said. And I guess Eric had been recently laid off or fired from his job, which kind of tied into a little bit, especially towards the beginning. The first night that they have in the house, like you were saying, Griffin, he shits his pants for every little noise that he hears, and he finds a box of clown dolls, which would terrify me, really.
I was gonna say, which at that point I was kind of like, you know what, dude, be fucking afraid.
Yeah.
He just stashes a shit ton of like different clown toys.
Like you were saying, Madison kind of does similar to what Carol Ann does in the original, and starts, talking to the TV. Kind of had these little sayings, or like, someone's coming, and then she does the whole "we're here," but not as good as Carol Ann in the original. Yeah. Don't even try it, you stupid.
I did notice that they did try to kind of go for that same little big-eyed, wide, kind of cute. Like she kind of looked a lot like the original Carol Ann.
She just like delivered it so deadpan though. She's like,
she did, right?
Yeah. Who's they? Well, I don't know. It's someone. They're here. Just deal with it. They're coming. Their hands coming from the TV. You see more like actual handprints, like from the inside, as opposed to the little ghost hand. The biggest thing that I would say here is this is a modernization of the original. They bring everything to pretty much 2015 technology. Everything. They're fucking using drones to fucking fly into the portal at one point. It's like, what is going on?
Like they took it a little bit farther. Like the first one was definitely about being a supernatural and poltergeist and stuff like that. But this one, like with the drone, they took us to the other side, and we saw like that aspect of the world.
So we saw CGI heaven as they just went in there, and we saw all the spirits all over the place.
But like I didn't really like. From the get-go, like you said, everything is so fast-paced. Like it starts off and it just keeps getting quicker and quicker as the movie goes on. But like they tried to do the whole like, oh well, the husband's laid off, so he's got his emotional shit. So does mom. So do the kids. But you never really get a long enough time with the characters to get attached.
Yeah, because the mom's supposedly writing a book or something. I think it's like, at one point.
Right, and except for the boy, like none of their shit really comes into play when it comes to mom's book doesn't save anybody, dad's no job. Like it really didn't matter if everybody in the house had a job or not. Like it had no real relevance except for the kind of filler.
We move on, and Eric and Amy are out to dinner, and then the three kids are at home, and then that's when a lot of shit starts going down. Kendra is attacked by like arms coming up from underground. Griffin is attacked by the tree again. The tree makes an appearance, and then also attacked by the dolls, the clown dolls. They really emphasized on that as in the original, because that was kind of a big, backed up scare with the clown attacking the kid. That was another thing to the curse thing of the original movie and in the sequels, is supposedly the clown like malfunctioned when it was choking the kid, and like actually really started choking him, and they couldn't like get the doll off of him for a while.
Wow.
So, but That's the original. Like I said, Griffin's attacked by the doll. He's attacked by the tree. Madison ends up getting lured into the closet because she was trying to go after a toy that she had that went into the closet, and then she got lost.
I was gonna say, like, it just straight ganked her during all of the chaos.
Yeah, she gets lost, becomes lost in the void because she kind of looks back and like her room is like miles further than where it really was when she first went in there. Eric and Amy return. They try to save Griffin. Kendra is hysterical after being attacked, and Madison is missing. The family begins to hear her voice coming from the TV. They call a paranormal research department for help. The crew starts setting up around the house. They put GPSs on everybody so they can track everyone while they're doing their investigation and stuff like that. They find the portal. Similar to the original, the dad goes upstairs like, screw this, I'm going to go in there and try to get her. He goes up to the upstairs, tries to go into the closet. It kind of fights back, and then that's where he like breaks the chair, or like a chair is broken, and he starts throwing the pieces into the portal, and then they start showing up on the other end. Stupid freaking fans blowing my papers. So the pieces of the chair start showing up like in the living room through the ceiling, similar to what we have in the original with the portal. Then they call Carrington Burke Carrington Burke, the douchebag with the TV show. I did not like him. I don't know what it was. And that's another thing with the modernization. It's like, oh well, it's 2015. Everybody has a Ghost Adventures, ghost hunting TV show on YouTube or on whatever random ass channel they're on. This is popular. Let's bring it into this movie.
Well, again, it's that kind of weak backstory because obviously, he's got his issue. He knows the show's bullshit. He's tired of fucking with it, but he really doesn't want to keep, fucking with the real thing. Again, though, so little backstory to all these characters that don't really like flesh them out. So they just kind of come off as 2-second people that you get a quick read. Well, he's an asshole. She's a pain in the ass, like that kind of thing.
Then he tried to steal the freaking catchphrase. The little old lady in the original was like, "This house is clean." I was like, "No, stop it right now. That is hers and hers only. Son of a bitch." Like that's the biggest thing for me. There's no sweet old little lady in this movie.
Right.
That's ruined it for me. And
nobody to put in your pocket.
Yeah, nobody put that's how I rate movies, guys. If I can put people in my pocket, and then it gets a double thumbs up from the buzz.
Again, like I looked at it as the actor, and like even though I didn't really like the character, I was like,
yeah.
This role.
The funny thing is, like, I've seen that guy in movies before. I have no idea who he is, though. Like, he's one of those guys that are in a lot of things, but like, I don't think he's like a main character in a lot of them. He seems like he's kind of a main character here, I guess. But
he's one of those like, dude. The reason I dig him is because he's so versatile. I've seen him play good, bad, the in between kind of like meaningless character, but he's still like he always fucking delivers.
Yeah. Kerrigan explains that Maddie might be like a possible psychic, which is like what may have allowed her to somehow communicate with the spirits on the other end. And they end up attempting to set up a rescue mission. So very similar to the original, with throw the rope through one end, comes out the other. They go to set up. It sounds like Kerrigan is going to go in and do it himself because he supposedly has done this before, I believe, or said he's done this before, I think, in his TV show or whatever. They're all downstairs, kind of. I don't know. I think they're having an argument, or they were just waiting downstairs. I think the dad and Kerrigan like get blown away by the force of the coming from the portal. So what ends up?
We were all sitting downstairs arguing.
That's what it was.
Okay. Go. And finally, one of the other assistants is like heard the computer beep, looked and realized one of the GPSs was already upstairs, and it was the boy. They run upstairs.
Okay.
And so, like, as the dad and the psychic are standing at the closet door, that's when they get fucking blown back.
Okay. Griffin goes in because he's overcome by guilt because he feels it's his fault that Carolyn got sucked into the void or went into the void or whatever he wants, because he wasn't there to like watch her and shit like that. So he decides to go in there. He finds her in there. Kind of tells her like, let's go. She's like, I can't. The demons see the rope and they attempt to try to destroy it so that they could cut off that link through the portal. They finally do it, but right before they kind of closes, Madison and Griffin come through the ceiling, and they come back to planet Earth, and are covered in goo, because that's the thing that happens there. Because it's a gooey place. That's all I'll say. Right. So they bring the kids up to the bathtub to get them water and stuff like that to kind of revive them. That happens. The family attempts to leave. They do the smart thing is they get ready. They go to book it right away.
Fuck right, dude. Like, I got keys. That's all we fucking need.
Yeah. But the spirits have other alternatives, and they prevent the car from going and somehow yank the car into the house, destroying the car, flipping it. The car's on its roof. Madison is taken again. The demons just don't want to give up. They attempt to take her. The family this time is able to prevent that. They save her. They make their way out of the house. Kerrigan decides that he's going to go into the portal so that he can help the spirits move on to the other side. So that happens. The family, like I said, they end up making it. They making a getaway. They drive as fast as they can, and then the rest of the research team kind of goes and tries to recover their equipment, and they like try to find traces of Kerrigan, which at the time they don't see anything. We kind of add a little bit with the family looking for a new home. They're looking at this new house, and this lady's like, look at all this luscious closet space. They're like, fuck that. And they just book it and start laughing. And they're like, ha, 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 we're still homeless.
Right.
I didn't really understand. They're very jovial for not having.
That's okay. Like, them laughing about the closet thing, like, I just kind of figured that'd be a little traumatic for like all of us.
Yeah. I guess I didn't watch. I'm a very non-Marvel fan of me. I didn't watch the end credits. Supposedly there was an end credit scene. I don't know.
Oh shit! I missed that then.
Homeboy made it out of the portal and says that he escaped and was doing his show again. I didn't see that.
So
yeah, he emerged,
dude. Okay.
emerged from all the rubble from the house destroying itself, and okay, I guess he's a little bit of a badass. I guess. I mean,
okay, you know what? Like, that's actually kind of cool then, because I was like, well, fuck, dude, if you go to do a sequel, like, like his character.
Yeah, this was a one and done. Thank God. But yeah, that's pretty much the 2015 Poltergeist. They tried to show too much, like too much CGI.
I was gonna say this is definitely more of a Flash than style kind of thing.
Yeah, they cut off like a half hour.
Right.
Like this was only about an hour and a half. The original was like 2 hours.
Right.
Which is why it's definitely it was more quicker paced.
It just it's also a time period where like they lit up the closet to make it look so paranormal. Like they went out of their way to build such a dynamic looking thing. But fuck, dude, like I just kind of feel like they would have been able to do a little bit better had they sat down with the story a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you could definitely say that it's not like some remakes that was like a copy and paste of the original. They tried something different within the like framework of the original storyline,
right?
And tried to add their own things. It's just I
Like
don't know.
I liked the middle boy. You know, like he had that fear, he overcame it. Like that was actually a good spot in the film. But everybody else's backstory really just didn't do anything for him. Like it was kind of a moot point.
To me, besides like you said there, and then the characters all just kind of fell flat to me. Like they didn't really. Nobody like stood out in this movie. Of being like, holy, well, the movie may have been crap, but this guy did a pretty good job, or this lady did a pretty good job. Nobody really stood out to me in this movie,
No,
besides the tree on the outside. So
I
if
mean,
you're,
sadly, yeah. You know, like I said, I dig Sam Rockwell and shit, but like they were just kind of watered down in this movie.
yeah. So if you want to watch it, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you. Can't tell you what to do. I just highly recommend you not watch it, but
Fuck
you
no.
really need to. We'll go ahead and cut to the trailer and come back and finish on the episode and tell you guys what's coming up with Things of Us. We are back.
I feel like
That
I'm doing kind of
was.
like a lazy Godfather thing here, man.
I got an offer you cannot refuse.
Right? Or whatever the
Um,
Powers guy was.
yeah. That was the 2015 Poltergeist trailer. That trailer enough was way too much to watch, so I apologize for you guys that had to watch that. But don't go see this movie. What did you guys say the guy's name was? Jared Harris?
Jared Harris.
He was the best. He was the best character in the movie. I may have was giving him shit. That just shows how bad the rest of the characters were. But he just wasn't a tiny little old lady with the tiny little old lady voice. So that just knocked points off from me. And then he had a stupid ghost hunting show. It's like, come on. But Jared Harris, you tried. You were given. You did well with what you were given. You were given a pile of shit, and you just made it a little bit of a smaller pile of shit by the end. So, but any closing thoughts on these two movies, Carter, before we hippity hoppity out of here?
Really liked the first one. Hated the second one. Close.
Okay.
Oh, fucker.
So, thumbs up on the original, thumbs down. That's what Carter and myself give it, and Cat's gone. So that should do it for us today. We will be back with you guys on Thursday for one of our infamous group chat episodes where there's 4 blokes just talking about bullshit for almost 2 hours. FYI, this week I won't be drinking because I had a bad weekend this weekend, and I'm just gonna say hopefully I cleaned all the vomit off of my friend's kitchen floor. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I let the 4th of July get to me a little bit too quick there. So
There were good
I might
explosions and bad explosions.
Yeah. Ooh. I might be more coherent on, even not say I wasn't coherent on our episodes, but this week we're going to be taking a look at some documentaries. All Hail the Popcorn King. I believe that's about Bubba Hotep, well, about the director of Bubba Hotep. I was close. About the director of Bubba Hotep. Jesus Christ, trying to say it fast. Not a very easy thing to say fast. And then we also be looking at His Name is Jason, the Friday the 13th documentary, or one of the Friday the 13th documentaries. That one focuses more on Jason than it does the franchise as a whole. It just kind of talks about Jason's progression through the movies. And then I think the other one is the Dick Miller documentary.
Which I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
Yeah. If you don't know, he's been in a bunch of shit, which is why he has his own documentary. The 2 movies that I know of very well are Gremlins 1 and Gremlins 2. He plays Mr. Futterman, but he's been in a handful of movies. So that's what we're doing on Thursday. You can join myself, Johnny and the Giz, and Carter for that. And then this Sunday, Johnny and the Giz have a whole host of screeners, which are Parallax. Is a sci-fi movie. It's not like I'm getting these feeded into me. So Battlefield 2025, it sounds like what it sounds like. I already forgot all that. It's Battlefield 20, whatever you said it was. A sci-fi film in the tradition of District 9 and the Blob, starring teen sensation Anna Har. And the final one is The Runners, an action thriller in the tradition of Taken, starring Misha Lyons.
Awesome.
And Heat's Tom Sizemore.
And then, as Buzz has also pointed out, we will be doing Night of the Demons on our next gig.
No, we won't be.
You just said we're
doing.
There we go.
I'm not as dumb as I look, guys. Even though it was my decision, so I mean, if I didn't know that.
Nope, that was my bad. I wrote down the wrong one.
But that might.
Thinking, fuck, I don't know.
Well, I think Johnny and the Giz covered Night of the Demons, I believe.
Okay.
So I think that's why that might be off our radar. But maybe in the future we'll do it. Give it a little bit of time. Yes, it was
with Edward Furlong and Shannon Elizabeth. The remake was 2009.
We may have a final future episode. We might do it because they didn't cover the remake. I believe they just covered the first film. So we'll look into it and we'll let you guys know if we do it. So until but I remember it being out, but I don't remember hearing good things because it's a remake. So we don't have a new episode of the TV show this week. So, or at least the lads are on holidays. So,
which break, they bust their ass. So
yes, so we don't have a trailer to show you guys tonight. So you catch us Thursday. So for myself and I almost said the Giz, but it's not. It's the Carter. For myself and Carter.
Am I angry and throwing shit against the wall, bro?
You were very upset when the cat was clawing at you. So
that shit hurt. I'm not upset. All right.
He didn't toaster oven it, so I guess it's not.
Plus the
alrighty. Well, we'll take two. For myself and Carter, we'll check you guys out Thursday with Johnny and the Giz for some documentaries. Gorecast out.
Thanks for watching.
Trying to find the little lens there.